Hi everybody and welcome to the 18th edition of Ljubljana Talks. Here with me in our studio is of course Jan Oršič from Ljubljana Convention Bureau and our special guest today, Boštjan Horjak from agency Liberty Adriatic.
Hi.
Boštjan, welcome.
Thank you, Gorazd.
Today we would like to share to you some great news. Boštjan is working on a big project and maybe Boštjan, the best is that you explain what is going on in your agency at this moment.
Well, yes, I can say that we're pretty much proud that again we managed to bring the car lounge to Slovenia. I mean, car lounges are really great projects, and of course to bring a project to Slovenia which lasts 4 weeks and where about like 500 foreign journalists who are writing mainly about the specialty topic of the automotive industry are bringing their reports back from Slovenia about this particular car launch is something I think that we are all very much happy about as the organizers, our co-organizers, and as well, of course, I think on the other hand is also a huge promotion for Slovenia too.
Is it difficult to bring such an event to our country or to get the clients for that?
I mean, of course it's difficult because one of the major, I would say, competition is the destination as itself. I believe that probably 70 or 80% of the car launches are being launched in Mediterranean area, mainly Spain, also a bit of Italy and France, for example, Portugal as well, due the good weather, because of course all the car industry would like to bring their journalists into the beautiful weather conditions and so on. But on the other hand, I think that this gives pretty good possibility for Slovenia as a destination for such projects. There were a couple of them already by now. 2007 there was a Twingo car launch for Renault, then there was a Skoda car launch, there was Mercedes car launch. I'm talking about the global ones. I'm not talking about the local original ones. I'm talking about the global car launches where the whole, I would say, industry and journalists are invited for such a project. So all in all, I believe that Slovenia indeed has a great potential in the future as well, of course. Again, connectivity is a point here, because journalists are coming from all over the world, mainly Europe, but again, all over the world. And it's quite an important thing to bring them actually as fast as possible. And where I see the big potential, because those guys are invited on a daily basis everywhere. And they are also keen on coming to the destination they've never been before. So, I mean, if you are 10 times invited to Spain and probably then once or twice to the location like Slovenia, for example, there's quite a good probability that clients would decide to come.
When did this project start for you?
It started, I mean, the project itself, it started on the 6th of October. So actually now we are more or less into the final, I would say, stage. The good thing, and which was, I would say, additional benefit, was a fantastic weather. I remember when we did the 2017 car launch of Renault Alaskan, it started on the 31st of August and ended, I think, beginning of October. There was one single day of sun. All the rest was raining like hell. Well, now for this project, there was not a single day of rain. So, and it gives, it gives really perfect impact on the I would say on the reports of the journalists and mainly about their feelings about the destination.
Well, Jan, you also have some experience with that. Huh? I remember you were involved in the project in Montenegro. Am I right?
Yes. I worked on a car launch on a Jaguar F-Pace in Montenegro. That was a long time ago. It's still, I believe, the largest such project that ever took place there. And it was very exciting because the destination was in its infancy in many ways. But like you were saying, it is one of those things that are the most exciting that in a way in the DMC world it's the holy grail. It's a project that delivers, a huge project, so many activities, exclusivity, all the unique aspects have to be provided. And I think in terms of knowledge, the DMC has to be top. And I know you are one of the DMCs in Slovenia and also in the region that actually can do this, because there's many DMCs, but very few can actually do.
And play the game, huh? Yeah.
Play the game when we're talking, like you said, you have to create spaces for the vehicles, you have to create spaces for the staff, you have to create spaces for the participants, special editions, special variations, derivative changes. There are so many things which happen within just a couple of days of the visit of journalists.
It's one night, 2 days, So
there you go.
But I'm thinking this is an amazing multiplier of the presentation of car. They will definitely report also about Slovenia, about Montenegro, the journalists. So this is such a big plus. I mean, what can you say about it? So definitely they will mention where they tested the car.
It's. I mean, first of all, there's always focus. It's a primary focus on the car, of course. I mean, but when you see all those images and everything, everybody are reporting that the car was launched in the destination, in Slovenia and so on. What is a new aspect to me, actually, and this is how this car launch will end at the end of the day, that Nissan has decided to bring 30 prime lifestyle influencers to the destination. This is something I did not experience before. What actually means, that also the car industry starting to pay a lot of attention, particularly to the social media and to those, I would say, influencers. So this is how the project will actually end at the end of this week. The I would call it regular program was mainly focused partially to the northern part of Slovenia because of the specifics of the car, but the influencers are coming also strictly to Ljubljana as well. So they will spend one night in Ljubljana. They would like to experience Ljubljana, which again will give additional, I would say, impetus on the promotion of Ljubljana through those media, and then they will follow the program as the rest of the journalists did.
It's very relevant for the destination to have this sort of events, because car companies invest incredible amount of money to get the right people on the location. They will know exactly the names and surnames of who they are inviting on such an event. There is no coincidence. There is no, we were so lucky. And also in terms of the media that attends these events, it is crucial for them to be invited. So they will justify the positioning of the vehicle in a certain environment. Yeah. And once those photos are released, because usually they take photos a couple of days before, or let's say the first edition, the first week, they will be taking pictures, then they go also in the publications of the provider. Now, that means that every salesperson of a network of a certain company will know about this destination and about this car. And this is this incredible power that these car launches have, because they are the top event, and everything else then goes down the pyramid. Events tend to become larger because you have 30, 50 people. How many do you have per rotation?
I would call an average 40.
There you go, an average 40. If you would then do a promotion of the car for the sales teams, those tend to be bigger, less focused, less exclusive, and then it trickles down, right? And these sort of events have an extremely important positioning for the local DMCs and local tourism organizations, because it shows that we as destinations, and I'm not talking about just Slovenia, I'm talking about Croatia or Montenegro or ex-Yugoslav countries or Balkan countries for that matter, which, in a lot of international contexts would have, a sort of problematic renommee sometimes. It is important because it shows that there is suppliers and providers of services which can be trusted, which can deliver the highest level of events.
Exactly.
And that is
But it's an interesting shift also when we are talking about influencers. I believe that this was reserved mainly for the really top journalists from the, I don't know, automotive magazines. But now it's different. It says a lot, man. How strong is the social environment also for selling cars, actually.
Exactly,
You know, I'll say like this: what we are doing here, we are creating content and we're putting it on certain social media, right?
Yeah.
Because we're trying certain people of interest to hear about what we have to say, and also people who are interested in the topic to get to know about the topic in a very fresh and frequent way. And if you think about how you will go about a review of a car, you will go and you will look at it on YouTube.
Yeah, or in metaverse, this is also possible, guys.
Sure, but
So,
let's talk about this broader environment where you're kind of getting the feel, right? And I can tell you a very personal experience. Recently, I was making a booking for a rent-a-car, and the cars on the list were something I didn't know. You know, it's all these crazy little cars I'm not familiar with. I've not been buying a car for a long time. And I just went on YouTube to see how big the back is, how much space there is. I didn't go and...
this is generational, okay.
It's generational, but also it's very practical because it goes the quickest. You just click to where he shows you what you can do and you say, oh, I need more space or less space or whatever.
I would read the manual, you know, so this is my style of doing
but
things.
Not something just booking a rental car.
Yeah. One more thing, I believe that we have so many scenic roads. Is this important in your opinion? I mean, just around Ljubljana we have such a great roads. But of course, you need to try this and present this to the client in a proper way. What is your opinion about it?
No, roads are essential. You know, roads are definitely essential. And this, again, is a great, unique selling point of Slovenia. I mean, if you looked at within 45 minutes, you come from the urban area to the mountain region or actually down towards the coast. So this gives enormous opportunities, particularly for that kind of I would say events. Let's say this route for the Nissan X-Trail is going from Ljubljana, from airport Ljubljana towards let's say passing Škofja Loka area and then through Sorica coming down to Bohinjska Bistrica and further down to Bohinj. The I would call northern route goes passing by, let's say it goes towards Jesenice, then through Gori area towards Pokljuka and comes down again to Bohinj. No, definitely, and part of it again, you know, because they are always searching for different type of the road. So part of the road is also a gravel road, which has to be also part of the experience. And the last, actually,
is there any gravel road in Slovenia? No, I'm joking.
The last actually activity, if I may call so, is a so-called 4x4 workshop, which is arranged in the close vicinity of the airport, where the journalists have a possibility really to test the capability of a new car in different, I would say, tactical drive on the 4x4.
And Boštjan, how many people do you need for maintenance of the car? Because they need to be clean again. You need to clean them, you know.
This is, I would say, look, again, you know, it's if you have like 30, 40 journalists, the same amount of staff you need for the operation. As cars needs to be cleaned every day in the morning.
Perfect.
Sharp, you know, being brought to the starting point.
Or so, driver smell, you know.
You know, so they're cleaned, vacuumed, so everything is perfectly arranged when they are collecting the cars at the airport. Then they are brought back. So this is a huge logistics, and of course, you never know if something could happen. Luckily, to my experience, nothing seriously happened so far, but still, again, you need to have the full technical team in order to check the cars, particularly here, as we have the 4x4 workshop. Every car needs to be completely checked afterwards, you know, for all the, if there's any damage or whatever, you know. So it is quite a logistic, actually, to set everything, Yeah,
I mean, provocative question to both of you. especially to Jan. What do you need from Jan actually? Because in his official role actually, he's promoting such things. But what do you expect from Ljubljana Convention Bureau? Yeah.
To bring more such events to our country.
I mean, look. First of all, I would say it's a joint venture of the I would say promotion of the destination to the, let's say, potential customers, and I think, and we always consider Ljubljana Convention Bureau that always gives a hand. Now, in this case, I can give you a pure example how this happened. The influencers, actually, influencers will this time sleep in Noi residences and at the actually close to the Slovenian National TV, and on the Čufareva Street, you know, they are already doing their works for, I believe, since beginning of the summertime. And of course, it's not nice to see the actually fences and whatever in front of the building where they sleep. So I approached Ljubljana Convention Bureau and the mayor's office, and so everything was arranged.
Wow.
Well, you know, it's the mayor's office predominantly that does these sort of things, but yeah, we tend to help, and it's it goes both ways. You know, one thing is that we try and promote the destination for this product. So you know, we are trying to be proactive on the markets where we, you know, try and identify potential clients, which then, of course, Boštjan would take over in this case. In this concrete case, you know, it goes in where can we help create an experience of the destination that is memorable, because it is, especially, you know, with influencers, I have a colleague that specializes just in the influencer market. So you have to understand it. It's a very specific subgenre of tourism promotion, and so there's quite a few things that have to be taken into consideration that perhaps in a normal journalist group would not be the case, or, you know, if you are dealing with, you know, just the journalists who do the drive, it's a different kind of a program than with the influencers. And it's very interesting how this has become a part of our day-to-day life, and the impact that it has. It's not necessarily, you know, you wouldn't sense it. You said before, you know, you would check a different media to get a certain type of information, but the newer generations are different, and hence we have to take that into consideration.
But I'm thinking this is definitely a top. Such a car is a top product, let's say so. So they're looking for a top product destination. I mean, this is a little bit provocation again, but a destination must be a product too. Everything must be in place. So I think so for such events.
By all means. By all means, as Jan already mentioned.
So if we have a half product, then you cannot deliver, you know. So
of course,
no, definitely.
Thinking about Bosnia, for example. Don't get me wrong. It's not there.
Everything has to come together. Everything has to come together. I mean, you need to have a perfect infrastructure, A, for the operation, B, as well. I mean, if there's not proper hotel, who would bring them there? You know, if there's not a proper F&B support, who would bring them there? Because those journalists, as I already mentioned, they are really, really spoiled. They've been to so many places, and of course, despite the fact that the car producer, car manufacturer, his main idea is to bring the journalist to test the car, but it's not just the car. It's everything. You know, it's the whole experience a journalist would have on the destination. That's why, as I said, weather is also part of it. You know, believe it or not, but actually, of course, every single piece of the journey to the location and experience brings a total experience of the journalist here, let's say.
It's a part of the story of the car then, you know, because I know that you mentioned before Portugal and Spain, and the big things that for instance, we don't have is racetracks. Both Portugal and Spain, they have designated racetracks where then these cars can go and really be tested to the limit. We don't have institutionalized tracks for off-roading, as you will know.
Yeah.
We do have the Amazon Center, right?
Which is too small, probably.
It's not. No, the problem is it is fully occupied.
It's not small.
It's fully occupied throughout the year because the whole country is using it. It's an amazing product, but it's fully booked, and you cannot get it for a month. For 3 weeks. And we've had challenges in the past where there would be car producers looking at Slovenia, but that was one of the necessities.
Well, I agree, definitely. Sorry to interrupt you. In Slovakia, there is a Slovakia ring because of all the automotive industry around the Bratislava. They're using heavily for promotion this beautiful Slovakia ring, which is well done, well equipped, and this is definitely necessary. I saw that there, Plus there is also off-road track close to the Volkswagen factory. So you need to have infrastructure, definitely, I think so. Otherwise you cannot play the game.
There's a new story that will happen from 1st of January for us. Because now that the border, the Schengen is going to be moved away, that is a huge thing. Because never before could car launches go between Slovenia and Croatia.
That's true.
And there are areas on the coast, there are areas around Kočevje, there are areas in the east, where if you could pass from one side to the other, you could create this extremely interesting experience going from Zagreb to Ljubljana, through a completely different set of roads that have ever been driven on such an event.
Next year, the World Rally Cup will go to Slovenia. That's what we heard. And as a big fan, I'm looking forward.
There you go.
The roads close to Početrtek, they are just across the street, let's say, so to Kumrovec, where track is going on. So basically, looking forward.
We're getting rid of Schengen, and that's a huge news. And it really
for sure it is, for sure. As well for the let's say for the accessibility too. So for both options.
Since we are running out of time, Boštjan, what is your next car launch?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Or not allowed to say.
Okay. What would you like to bring to Slovenia?
Well,
which car is your dream car?
No. The fact is, I would say, and this is how the destination is chosen at the end of the day, because it has to go in line with the car, I would say, feeling. So the X-Trail, for example, is like more presentable, like exploration, being kind of let's say enjoying the nature, exploring, and so on. So I believe that this is also the reason why the car manufacturers are looking for certain destinations, because first of all they think, is the destination in line with the theme of the car, with the story of the car, with the product, exactly. I mean, I think I don't have any, I would say, preferable brand or whatever. I mean, I would just hope that there would be still many more coming to Slovenia, because I believe it's incredible destination. I think we can still offer a lot with the new developments as well in Ljubljana, because the journalists, as I mentioned, are a little bit, let's say, spoiled in a way. We have a nice potential,
Top. What about you, Jan?
I want to turn the question around, and I want to say this. I think, before you were saying we are in competition a lot of times with Spain, with Portugal, because of weather. But there's another destination that ticks a lot of these boxes, and that's Iceland. And the weather is horrible, and the weather is terrible, and it can be icy and it can be cold. But it's exactly what you're saying. It's about finding the topic that fits to the car.
Wow.
And I think our next projects would be even more interested if they would be happening in the times of when the weather is bad and when we have rain or we have snow or we have ice. Because then I think we would be able to deliver that extra experience, completely out of the box.
I totally agree. Yeah.
So that's it.
Fine.
Yeah, let's see. Perhaps you find somebody with a rally crowd.
No, this is lifestyle. Actually, it's so specific. So you need to love that. Otherwise, you can get divorced. So it's easily so. Yeah. So Gorazd, this is another topic for the next edition of Ljubljana Talks.
I have an additional question for you.
Yeah.
Gasoline or electric?
Oh, yeah. I will not answer this. Thank you for watching us. Stay tuned to all our channels. Thank you, my guests, and our guests. So, see you soon in next edition of Ljubljana Talks.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.